Hello, today we'll do the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear by the Nobel Laureate of India, the Poet Laureate of India also, Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore is the poet who has written our national anthem, and he is a very versatile and prolific author and musician. He has written short stories, essays, poems, plays, and he has also invented a type of music called Rabindra Sangeet. So, uh, here he has written a poem about his hopes for India. And the title of the poem, as can be seen, is Where the Mind is Without Fear. Now, the word where refers to a place. The place that is referred to here is our country, that is India, where the mind is without fear. So, we'll read the poem. The poet says, Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. So, in a place, that is this country, where the minds of people are without fear. So, fear commonly is a response to the unknown, to the untried, or to the untrodden. So, if people could find a way to achieve their goals, to get what they want, to be who they can become confidently, that is, without fear, doubt, and mistrust, etc. So, where the minds of people are confident, serene, and untroubled, and the head is held high. So, where the people look on their task, look on their prospects of achieving something in life, in the future, squarely in the eye, without bending the head towards the ground. Where the people are confident and untroubled, a place like this, where people are like this, that is our own country, where knowledge is free. So, commonly, knowledge is a route to power, wealth, status, etc. So, because of these factors associated with knowledge, that knowledge is a path to wealth, fame, freedom, status, etc. Because of these factors, people often hold the knowledge they have secret, they keep it to themselves. But if the knowledge were to be shared, then many people would find a sort of release from the bondage. They could find means, maybe, to achieve what they want. So, where knowledge is free, knowledge is freely dispensed. That is, again, this is the hope of the poet for our own country, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. So, again, people uh, think they have safety, or they have comfort, or they have security within narrow domestic walls. For example, the walls of a house or the walls of a workplace, etc. So, to strengthen their own security or safety or comfort, they try to make the lives of people around them into fragments, into pieces. So, to ensure their own security, they sort of wage war against those around them. And this, of course, is inimical. It is not conducive to unity. So, the poet hopes that our country will not be broken up by people's own view of their own needs and their own selfishness. And he continues, where words come out from the depth of truth. Now, truth is something which an author says there is not the truth, but there is a truth. Now, to achieve something, there are many ways to achieve the same thing. And but there is only one royal road, as it's known. There's only one royal road. So, for example, we'll take the example of looking at an umbrella. The umbrella looked at from the top appears in one way. Looked at from the bottom, it appears in another. Looked at from the side, it looks in a third way. So, but it's an umbrella. So, to achieve something, the goal is the same, but the points of view of people of achieving that same one and same thing differ. But there's only one goal, and therefore there's only one path. And this path is very difficult to find. What is the one true way of achieving something, getting something, becoming someone or something? That path, which is also one of the paths, is very difficult to find. So, to find that path, we need a, a pointer. We need pointers to help us achieve our goals with equanimity, calmness, peace of mind, and so on. To find that path, the truthful path, is difficult. But the poet hopes that in our country, words come out from the depth of truth. And he says, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. To achieve something requires striving, trying. If the goal is small, the amount of effort required may be small. If the goal is large or big, the amount of effort will increase proportionately. So sometimes we need to tirelessly strive. We need to stretch our arms to achieve something in its totality, to finish some task completely, to finish some task perfectly. So, in a country, the poet hopes it's our country, people will strive to achieve whatever they wish to tirelessly. So, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, he continues. Habit, routine, is a desert because the same method, the same procedure can be repeated over and over and over again for many years, for many decades to get the same result. And this produces numbness of the senses, numbness of the mind, and people's life become dreary. Dreary means sad, melancholy, like that, because they cannot find anything new. But to do the same thing can be done in many ways. So if we were to find a new way of achieving something, our minds would be freshened, our minds would be renewed, we would feel a sense of refreshment, our reason would be energized. So, to achieve something in a new way, to achieve the same thing in a new way, requires imagination. But this imagination should not be without limits. It should be based on reason, it should be based on fact. So, in a place that is our country, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee. Thee is an old form of you. Here, you refers to God. So, people should be led forward. They should look to their futures, says the poet. They should be led forward on their paths in life by God. So, their futures should be guided by the providential aspect of divinity into ever widening thought and action. So once something is done, it will affect the lives of some people or many people, or even it may affect the lives of people globally. Bill Gates is one such example of a person who has affected the whole world. And indeed, every person is capable of affecting the lives of others positively, no doubt. So, God, divinity, should lead the minds of people forward into ever widening thought and action. It's a ripple effect. One action taken will influence other actions. So, the effect of one action will widen, go on widening ever. So, the poet hopes that into that heaven of freedom, my father, he says, let my country awake. So, into such a state, the poet hopes our country will awake into such a state of freedom, fearlessness, and where people put forward tireless effort to achieve their goals. The poet hopes our country will attain this state of striving. So, this is a poem where the mind is without fear by the poet laureate, the Nobel laureate of our country, Rabindranath Tagore. Thank you.